He's even acknowledged this on multiple occasions, whether it is story structure, character archetypes, or world-building elements. These movies helped influence Avatar in one way or another. Number 1. A Man Called Horse is a proto-Avatar. Avatar's story feels similar because it follows the exact same man-going native story archetype found in a bunch of different movies. When man invades native land, one of the men comes to appreciate their way of life, then helps the native fight back against men. It's a format that has been rinsed and repeated countless times throughout the Hollywood. And it's essentially all started with a Man Called Horse. In the movie, Richard Harris plays an English aristocrat who is captured by a Native American tribe. After fending off an enemy attack, he eventually proves himself and becomes a respected member of the tribe. If that sounds familiar, it's because that's the point. Number 2. Atlantis, The Lost Empire. This movie is similar to Avatar. The Lost Empire is one of the more underrated and forgotten Disney films from the early 2000s. The movie follows Milo Thatch, a young linguist who joins a group of mercenary explorers to find the lost continent of Atlantis. When they do, it's revealed that expedition was a ruse to steal a precious resource. Milo ends up siding with the Atlanteans and, after falling in love with the princess, helps protect Atlantis. Number 3. The Last Samurai. In The Last Samurai, Tom Cruise plays a US Army captain who travels to Japan to help train their military, only to be captured by a group of samurais who are in the open rebellion against the Emperor and Western reformers. Tom Cruise's character then begins to admire that samurai's way of life and ends up joining their ranks and their fight against the Imperial Army. Before Avatar was even released, it drew criticism for resembling The Last Samurai in plot, and then both films have also been criticized as being white savior films, a trope where a white character saves non-white characters from their plight, essentially the plot of both movies. Number 4. At Play in the Fields of the Lord, 1991. At Play in the Field of the Lord is a religious epic based on a novel of the same name about two missionaries and two explorers who find themselves in a remote village deep in the Amazon forest. It's one of the films that Cameron himself has said he took inspiration from when developing Avatar. While the two films certainly shares a good deal of plot points, the other themes most inspired Cameron. For example, the theme of technology versus nature, central to Avatar, is also a considerable part of At Play in the Field of the Lord. Then again, this theme is found in the most Mango's native stories. Number 5. The Emerald Forest takes the going native story to Amazon. The Emerald Forest 1985 drama is amongst the films that James Cameron has directly stated as influencing Avatar's story. The Emerald Forest is another Mango's native story about a little boy taken and adopted by an indigenous tribe in the Amazon. He eventually marries one of the indigenous women, and after helping defend against an enemy attack, becomes the leader of the tribe. Number 6. Princess Mononoke. Princess Mononoke is a studio's cable classic and was a critical and commercial hit upon its release. The story follows a young prince named Ashitaka and his involvement in a struggle between the gods of a forest and the humans who consume its resources. It's an environmental fable about the relationship between a man and the nature, and needs to preserve the world as it becomes the more industrialized. It's similar to Avatar, which makes sense because James Cameron has stated that Princess Mononoke influenced Avatar in meaning regarding its environmental theme and the design of the Pandora's ecosystem. Bioluminescence forest in Avatar looks like it was directly pulled from the Princess Mononoke's own bioluminescence forest. Number 7. Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest remains a sharp commentary. Over the years, James Cameron has acknowledged that multiple films helped inspire Avatar. Not included in that list of the movies is the animated classic, shown in every classroom, Fern Gully, The Lost Rainforest. This is surprising, considering the two share very similar plots and fantasy elements. There have even been multiple side-by-side comparison videos showing the similarities between two online films. Fern Gully is set in a magical forest filled with fairies and tells the story of a logger who is accidentally shrunk down to their size and, after falling in love with the tribe leader's daughter, decides to help them save their forest. One gully even ends up with aerials against machines, similar to how Avatar ends. Number 8. Pocahontas is Disney's Avatar. One of the movies that Avatar has consistently drawn criticism for rippling off is Disney's Pocahontas, which again is a stretch too far, but the plot of the two films are pretty similar. So much so that some have even dismissed Avatar as being Pocahontas in space. However, this isn't fair criticism because Pocahontas also follows a similar story structure in earlier films. It's the same man-going native archetype. It's just told from a different perspective. It's a simple plot that's familiar and easy for audience to understand, which might even explain why Cameron would use it in a visual-heavy film like Avatar. Number 9. Dances with Wolves is Avatar's transport to the Civil War era. Dances with Wolves is undoubtedly the movie most commonly credited with influencing Avatar's story. It's something that even been parodied on South Park in the episodes Dances with Smurf. This is because both movies follow the Man Goes Native story format, and Dances with the Wolves was the most popular of these movies before Avatar was released. But Avatar isn't necessarily a copy of just this one movie. It's a culmination of every movie that follows the story archetype. It's why Avatar might look like something that's never been seen before, but its story feels like something that everyone has definitely seen. So now that's all for this video. Make sure to subscribe this channel, like the video, and comment your thoughts on the content.